Bitcoin, the currency of the 21st century. It's captured the imagination of governments, businesses, and entrepreneurs, promising a new era of financial exchange. But in its short history, it's already experienced several bubbles and crashes. The bubble that I fell prey to started in 2017, when prices rose from $975 in March to nearly $20,000 at the start of December. But then on 22nd December 2017, Bitcoin lost a third of its value in just 24 hours, falling below $14,000. By February 2018, the price had dropped another 50% in just 16 days, falling back below $7,000. Like an absolute idiot, I poured most of my savings into Bitcoin during the 2017 bubble. By the end of that year, I'd invested $88,000 into Bitcoin, and within a few weeks, I'd lost over $55,000 of it. This was a pretty interesting time for me in my life. I was preparing for my final year medical school exams at Cambridge University. I was doing this YouTube stuff on the side, and I was watching around 90% of the savings that I'd built up through 5 years of running a business in med school. I was watching those like go up in flames. Anyway, I am now totally over it, genuinely 100% over it. I don't think about it when I'm lying in bed at night and in the shower. I don't think about it at all, 100% over it. But in this video, I wanna share the 5 lessons that I've taken away from this experience of losing the bulk of my life savings by trying to invest in Bitcoin. And hopefully you'll find those useful. Crypto is rallying these days. A lot of my friends, a lot of my audience equals friends. A lot of people I know are getting into crypto these days, and I want you to learn from my experience from a few years ago. So let's start with lesson number 1. So the first lesson is that the first rule of investing is to not lose money. This is something Warren Buffett talks about. It's something that every investor in the world talks about. When you're actually investing stuff, rule number 1, don't lose money. By not losing money, you're already doing better than a lot of people who are trying to do this investment stuff, including me. And I remember there was a moment in late 2017 where by that point I'd put in around $50,000 into Bitcoin, and my portfolio was worth around like $90,000. So I had a gain of $40,000. And you know, me and all my friends were into crypto, and we were like exchanging screenshots of our portfolios and stuff. And people were like, oh my God, you've literally made $40,000 or 32,000 pounds. Why don't you just take the money out? Now, 32,000 pounds is like a whole year's salary for being a doctor in the UK's National Health Service. And I'd made that on Bitcoin, and I didn't take the money out. And the reason I didn't take the money out was because I was like, oh, Bitcoin's gonna go to the moon and all that kind of stuff. What the prudent thing to have done in that context was that I should have set a stop loss, which means that if my portfolio had dipped below the amount that I put in, I would immediately sell, because the first rule of investing is to not lose money. People might disagree with it. You might say that, oh, you're supposed to have diamond hands and you just like hodl and just hold on and hope for the best over time, that sort of stuff. But I think when it comes to a kind of speculative investment like Bitcoin, which is basically just gambling, as I'm gonna talk about in a moment, I think when it comes to those sorts of investments, it's totally okay to play with house money, i.e. once you've kind of recouped your original investment, everything else is just you're playing with the gains you made from that investment, and then you can go wild and do whatever the hell you want with it. But I think for me, that was like a crucial point in my financial journey where I basically crippled myself financially by not like keeping in mind rule number 1 of investing, which is you're not supposed to lose money. Lesson number 2 that I've learned is when it comes to this sort of stuff, when it comes to be honest, investing in anything, do not play with money that you might need in the next 5 years. So I was a stupid idiot in that I put all my savings into Bitcoin. I knew full well that at some point in that next 1 to 2 year period, I wanted to try and get on the property ladder, and I wanted to try and buy a house. And in fact, this is the flat that I'm now living in. And because all my money was in Bitcoin, when it came to needing to buy this apartment, I had to realize the loss. I had to take out around like 30,000, 40,000 from Bitcoin to be able to afford the deposit on this house. And I was an idiot because the money I'd put into Bitcoin, I knew that I was playing with money that I would need in the next 5 years. If I'd been playing with money that I could 100% afford to lose that I wouldn't need, maybe like 5K, 10K or whatever, because that's more than I needed for the deposit, then it would have been fine. It would have been a less bad thing to do. But I was playing with money that I needed. And so again, this is just a standard rule of investing. If you're investing in anything, you know, real estate, the stock market, Bitcoin, crypto, Dogecoin, whatever you want to invest in, then obviously before you do any of that, you want to have like a 6-month kind of emergency fund where in a savings account or in a current account somewhere, you literally have in cash 6 months worth of savings that can help sustain your lifestyle if something bad were to happen, like if you lose your job. And then once you've done that, you put aside any money that you might need in the next 5 years. Sometimes people even say 10 years, you know, if you need to buy a car or a house or pay for a wedding further down the line, you don't want to put that money that you need for that thing into the investment, because theoretically over the long term, everything goes up. And I still stand by that with crypto and stocks and real estate and everything. But If it just so happens that you need the money at a time where the market is low, it means you have to take the money out of the market, and then that is very bad because then you do what I do and you realize the loss of several tens of thousands of dollars because you need that Bitcoin to literally buy buy real estate. Lesson number 3 that I've learned is don't be emotional. Now, I used to think that I was a pretty rational kind of guy, you know. I'm pretty logical. I consider myself to be somewhat intelligent. I was like, hey, I got into Cambridge. I must not be a dumbass. And yet, when it came to Bitcoin, I became emotional. And I became emotional, I thought it was logic that was driving my decisions because, imagine, the price was at like sort of $4,000 and I bought some, and then the price went up to 8,000 and I bought some more, and then the price went up to 12,000 and I bought a bit more, and then the price was 16,000. I'm like, oh my God, I need to get in on this. I don't want to miss the train. This huge sense of FOMO. Bitcoin is going to the moon. Oh my God. Maybe Bitcoin's going to go to 100K, and if I buy in right now at 16K, then it'll keep going up. And then my friends were like, oh my God, yes, I've just bought some now, Coinbase is crashing right, left, and center. Trades aren't really going through. And it was a very kind of emotionally tumultuous time that I only realized after the fact. At the time, I thought, hey, I'm a logical, rational person. I'm making logical, rational decisions with my money to invest in or to gamble with Bitcoin in this way. And so the thing that I've learned after this experience is that you want to have a plan and you want to stick to the plan with some contingencies in the plan, but preferably by removing as much emotion from the decisions as possible. And one way that I think about this now is that when it comes to me putting money in Bitcoin, I genuinely think to myself that the thing I tell myself is that I'm basically setting fire to that money. Because if I have that attitude of by putting money into Bitcoin, I'm literally setting fire to it, that money, I've now lost that money, it means that I can kind of, in a way, model what it would feel like to lose all that money. And because these days I only put money into crypto that I can 100% afford to lose, it means I don't go too overboard in being like, oh, Bitcoin's going up, Elon Musk invested, Tesla's invested in Bitcoin, oh my God, I need to buy more and more and more. So I've got these rules that I've set for myself to try and combat the emotionality of it. I've also subscribed to this newsletter called Crypto is Easy, and I've been following that guy's advice and basically just using his plan because his plan is pretty good. And I'm like, great, this guy's done the research. I'm going to follow the plan. I have faith in it. And I'm not going to bring my own emotionality into investment decisions. Lesson number 4 that I've learned is that short-term trading is gambling. Long-term trading is investing. So I think if you invest in crypto right now with a view to not touch it, to have diamond hands, to hold on for dear life for the next 10 years, then it's fair to call that an investment. But if you do what I was doing in 2017 and what a lot of my friends now do, which is that, I'll look at the price of Bitcoin, I'll buy some now, then I'll look at the indicators and stuff, and then I'll sell maybe tomorrow, and then I'll be tracking the price on my phone, and then when I need to, I'll have a buy order and a limit order and all this stuff, and I'm gonna buy, this kind of day trading mentality. I think this is basically just gambling. There is almost no way that us as individual, non-professional investors trying to time the market by doing all this BS around looking at all these different indicators, be like, oh, the 162-day moving average has dropped below the 248-day moving average, therefore I'm going to buy some Bitcoin right now. And then, if we look at the ratio of pi divided by E multiplied by the position of Mars in the sky, that means that I'm going to sell Bitcoin tomorrow. That's basically what me and a lot of my friends were doing back in 2017, and what I now know a lot of people are doing today. And I don't know anyone personally who has consistently made money from that strategy. This is a video about Bitcoin. In the comments below, there's going to be a shit ton of scammers being like, oh my God, I never knew I could trade crypto until I started trading with Mrs. John Smith. And Mrs. John Smith, WhatsApp number +64 blah, 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 blah. Mrs. John Smith's crypto trading strategies are amazing. And then these guys have a ton of bots and fake YouTube accounts where they're commenting on one another's posts, being like, oh my God, Mrs. John Smith's trading strategies are amazing. And I've had DMs from people who have fallen for that particular scam, thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna follow this strategy. It involves day trading and Mrs. John Smith's strategy, and oh, just transfer Bitcoin to this particular address. Basically, the way I think about it now is that maybe if you're an institutional investor, maybe if you're a big company like Jane Street that does high frequency algorithmic trading, maybe in that context, you can do day trading. But for most of us watching this video, monitoring the 162-day moving average and figuring out when to buy and when to sell and all that kind of crap, that was a big part of how I lost so much money back in 2017 because I was trying to day trade. Whereas now the way I approach crypto is I'm just gonna buy and I'm just gonna hold and I'm gonna have diamond hands, and I'm only buying crypto with money that I can 100% afford to lose, and I have no intention of selling it in the short term. And finally, the ultimate lesson that I've learned, I don't know where I came across this. I think a friend told it to me, which is that when it comes to crypto, when you think you're gonna be rich, you should sell. And when you've lost so much money that you're vomiting, that's when you should buy. And I often think back to that, and I think if I'd followed that strategy, like when Bitcoin was going up and up and up, and it was around 16,000, 20,000, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna be rich. That's the point where I should have sold. And when I was literally vomiting because, well, I wasn't literally vomiting, when I was figuratively vomiting because I'd lost so much money, that would have been the time to double down and buy even more. Potentially one way of thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do that moving forward. What I'm actually gonna do moving forward is that I still do buy Bitcoin. I buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano these days on a weekly basis with a standing recurring order. And I've just kind of set it and I'm gonna forget about it and I'm not gonna really touch it, hopefully for the next 5 years at least. And I'm hoping 5 years from now I can make a YouTube video either saying, oh my God, guys, holding for the last 5 years has been amazing, or oh well guys, I lost all my money, but it's fine because I was only playing with money that I could afford to lose. So cautionary tale from me, please don't be emotional about investing decisions. Please invest for the long run. Please have diamond hands and hold on for dear life, and don't try and day trade, gamble your way into getting rich. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This could potentially be a viable long-term investment opportunity. And if you want to find out more about exactly how Bitcoin works, I have a comprehensive video over here that explains the fundamentals of Bitcoin if you actually want to get into it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.